Now he's on your radio.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
No, I totally expected it. I think he's so handsome. I think...
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Rock that, homie.
The Tony Camm Radio Show starts now.
All right, so in the studio with us right now, one of the real hip-hop guys of Lynchburg that I know. We go way back, like number of years. Big Juice.
What him up? Peace,
I don't know why they call you Big Juice.
Well, I mean, for obvious reasons, you know what I'm saying? A figure like mine needs constant attention. You know what I'm saying? So.
Wow. Now Juice reminds me of like Chubb Rock. You remember back when rap was like had dudes like Chubb Rock who were lyrically smart. And then they talked about stuff that meant something. Yeah. And I remember when I had the mezzanine years ago, that's when I first really started meeting Juice. And then Spice Defari. You guys did, Defari. And you guys did an album together, Juice and Spice, which sound like, you're in the grocery store shopping.
Right. The AJ's show. Juice and Spice.
You're in the grocery store, you're in the aisle 3.
Yeah. Basic food groups.
But you guys had some of the
CD was called Grocery List.
You know what I'm saying?
But you guys had some of the realest hip hop stuff that I had ever heard. It was such a distance between other stuff in this area back then.
Right.
So now you're working on new music now, and I'm excited about it.
Well, yeah, man, it's been something. Like the first album did really well. So that was my first official, album. Everybody knows from Legacy Productions. It was called Trials and Tribulations.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
Me and my producer, my brother E, before we even did the album, we've been working years before that. Mm-hmm. And when it was time, he pushed me like, Juice, it's time. It's time to make this album. It's time to do the thing. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, well, I don't know really what to talk about. He was like, well, be you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Do the same thing on the album that you would do on the corner or what you would do in a cipher.
Yeah.
So, and I figured it the trials and tribulations because I wanted people to know who I was.
Right.
How I had to go through life, and let everybody know this is what MC means,
Yeah.
Previous to that, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, me and Spice had a little mixtape going on, and like you said, it was kind of futuristic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was still hip-hop based, orientated, but at the same token, it was like, wow, we never heard this before.
No, and we hadn't. And I was one of the first ones to say that. I had never heard, because Rise and I used to trip off of that album, because it was a far ahead of what was happening at that time. Yeah. So, man, and then you just dropped off the radar around there for a while, and I was like, I was glad when you called me to say, hey, Tone, I'm back. When I come to the show, talk about myself, I'm like, yes.
Well, I'll say I dropped off the radar because, as my brother E will tell you, we don't try to keep it secretive, but we try to do music the way that we used to grow up and hear.
Right.
Like if you, take for instance, Wu-Tang Clan, you know what I'm saying? Even though they each had their own different albums.
Yeah.
When Wu-Tang Forever came out, nobody heard nothing about it. Right. And then when it dropped like a bomb, people was like, oh, man, this is out.
Exactly.
So, we still go to the studio.
It was like none of the hype, but it was good stuff.
It was good
Nowadays,
stuff.
You get all of the hype, and the stuff's not good. It's totally flipped.
It's Magna Carta.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Perfect example. Legal disclaimer.
Right.
Wow. The thing about, I guess everybody, it's the same thing like I always say about today's hip hop. I never disgruntle anybody's grind or any way they hustle because, the music industry has its ways of getting in, breaking in, doing whatever. You have to do what the next man do.
Right.
Almost be a clone.
Sure.
You almost have to be a clone.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the girls. Let's talk about the crime. Let's talk about the money, blah, 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 skippy woo woo.
Right.
But, me personally, that's not being an MC. And like I tell everybody, and when I used to do the shows down the Mezzanine, I explain what an MC is. No one talks about what an MC is.
Right.
An MC as far as street level is master ceremony. Move the crowd.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mastering your craft. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And people don't do that anymore.
Make children.
Right.
Yeah.
B Rich is an MC.
Hey, B Rich is a master MC.
He's a master MC. But you know, that's Salvador. But you know, that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And I've been urging that ever since back in the table lunchroom, bebopping. You know what I'm saying? Beatbox and everything. I stress that because this is what made most of us who we are today.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Listening to people like, you know, Chuck D, Karis One, Ludacris, you know what I'm saying? People like that nature, you know, Eminem, you know, Method Man, all these other people, you know, this is what structures that of an MC.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't tell is that's what the new album is about because it's called Return of the Vagabond.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
The title.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows a vagabond is a person that strays off the earth. And the reason why he got pushed away from society because he couldn't get down with what society was doing.
Right.
So therefore, when he comes up with this new stuff, like, man, okay, what do I do now? I'm scared now. You know, do I roll with this guy or do I just get out of the way? Or you know, but it's not even a confrontational album.
Yeah.
But I am putting down with a hammer that people need to get back to the lyrics because the radio. Well, I ain't gonna say all radio, but most radio stations, they focus on, like y'all said earlier, the hype.
Yeah.
You focus on the hype. You don't focus on the soul, the poetry, the lyrical content, none of that.
Yeah, the poet. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you can sit up there and say, Sam, I am green eggs and ham, but can you flip a style to it?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Man. It's always that's why I love talking with you. I can talk to you for hours and hours, but we got to wrap this up.
No doubt.
So your music is coming out like a couple weeks or
About
something.
a couple
right?
weeks or maybe give it a month or so.
Okay. All right. Well, you got to come out once it drops and everything. I know you gave me something today. I'm gonna spend it on the show, but you come back again once it officially drops, and let's have a dialogue about it. And because you're that dude, man, that can teach some of these young cats out here about the craft.
Just keep writing.
Yeah.
Keep writing. Keep your notebooks. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your imagination have no limit.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. Be an MC.
Awesome.
You know.
Everybody, Big Juice.
Legacy. Knock 'em out. Knock 'em out. Knock 'em out.
If you want to be a guest on the Tony Camm Show, send an email to radio@cammentertainment.com.